Hi, everybody. I'm back. I want to talk a little bit more about possession and how to express that. You might have noticed that in the last video, we didn't talk at all about how to express his, her, its, or their. We talked about meus, tuus, noster, and wester. But then you might have realized there's a gap there. Okay, I didn't bring them up. Now you might have just thought, oh, he'll talk about suis aum next, but no, I'm not. Suis aum is not as easy to use as you might think, and it's not used as much as you might think. So I want to talk about the kind of the normal ways that in Latin you're going to express his, her, its, or their. Okay. Again, just kind of showing you a chart of possessive adjectives. Of course, we have meus aum, which is my or mine, tuus, tua, tuum, your or yours. Ours is noster, noster, nostrum, and yours in the sense of plural, wester, westra, westrum. I just want to say something very briefly about the forms mine and yours and ours. Just so you know, in English, we use those forms if we need a predicate adjective, like the dog is mine, the house is ours. There we have these possessives used as predicate adjectives or complements. That's when we would use those. But when we need to modify a noun in a kind of a more, in what we call the attributive, but which is the more common way, like my house is yellow, our house is on the corner, we're going to use the first forms. Okay. But if you put your attention down here, you'll notice that there's no Latin adjective that corresponds to his, her, its, or to their. Yeah, there's a problem, Scoob. Okay. So we need to think about a solution because we still have to express those ideas. Like I saw her house. His dog is barking. Okay, so let's figure out see how the Romans did it. Okay, so let's look at the first sentence. These two sentences. Matres sunt valde commotae, vidistina liberos earum. Okay, the mothers are exceedingly moved in the sense of upset or disturbed. Have you seen the children of them? Okay, so of them here is our translation of earum. Okay, so in this situation, what they're going to use to express that idea of possession is not a possessive adjective, but a pronoun in the genitive. Okay. Now, of course, if someone were to say, have you seen the children of them, you would kind of correct them probably and say, well, that you would say, have you seen their children? Okay, because in English, we want to express that idea with a possessive adjective. Okay, but you can see that this information conveys the same idea, it's just packaged differently. Okay. So let's look at a couple more sentences. Cornelia est laeta quod pecuniam eius invenimus. Okay, Cornelia is happy because we found the money of her. Okay, again, I'm translating this eius as of her. Okay, and of course that's how we would want to say Cornelia is happy because we found her money. Okay, next, Marcus est miser quod pecuniam eius non invenimus. Marcus is miserable because we did not find the money of him. Okay, again, we're translating, the first translation of this genitive pronoun, okay, is with a pronoun in English, but then we would say, well, that's how we would express that as we did not find his money. Again, his here is a possessive adjective, just like her here is a possessive adjective. Okay, but now you might be saying, hey, Mr. Anderson, does that mean that there's no distinction in Latin between his, her, and its? Well, pretty much, yeah. So let's take a look at the chart of is, ea, id. Okay, and I just want to make sure that you're aware that in the genitive singular, we have eius for all three genders. In other words, eius can mean of him, of her, or of it. Okay. Now, in the plural, we have a little bit more variety. We have a masculine eorum, the feminine's earum, the neuter's eorum. Okay, earum is what we saw in the last or a couple sentences ago about the mothers. Okay, but yeah, we're kind of the only one that's really clear is the of them feminine. Okay. So let's say you were to see a sentence, Dixerunt mihi nomen eius. Okay. Now, in Latin, it'll be clear who the eius is. Okay, but in theory, just in isolation, Dixerunt mihi nomen eius can mean they told me her name, his name, or its name, because eius is the same for all three genders. It's ambiguous, and we're going to rely on context in order to know how to translate it, and we will get that context. Okay. Now let's say you have to go from English to Latin, which I don't plan on doing very much with you guys, but it's a good exercise if you really want to know that you've really mastered the idea. So let's say you have the sentence, I teach his brother. Okay. Now again, maybe you look to that chart and you think, oh no, this is a problem. We don't have an adjective in Latin that means his. Okay. So we're kind of stepping back. We're doing the process in reverse now, and we can say, well, I can say I teach the brother of him using a pronoun. Okay. And then we can say, well, dokeo, I teach fratrum, my direct object, masculine singular accusative, eius, of him. Now, again, eius is a pronoun. It's not an adjective that's modifying this noun. Okay. Notice how fratrum is masculine singular accusative, eius is masculine singular genitive. It's a pronoun. Okay. So unlike possessive adjectives, okay, we don't care about what gender, number, and case this noun is. The other thing to keep in mind, and we'll see it in the next sentence, is that this eius, the gender that we're going to choose, is dependent on the gender of the possessor, not of the noun that it modifies. Okay, so if we go back up briefly to this sentence, notice how have you seen the children of them? Okay, earum refers back to the mothers. The gender of the possessor here is the determining factor for which form of the pronoun we use. Whereas when we use possessive adjectives, it was the gender, number, and case of the noun it modifies that was the determining factor. Okay. I do want to alert you to one kind of unfortunate issue about English. Okay. The word her, you might even want to think of it as there are two different hers. Okay. One her that's a pronoun, such as I saw her yesterday. Okay. And a possessive adjective her, I played with her cat, where in this sentence her is an adjective modifying cat. Okay, so we might need to think about that a little bit differently. We need to think about that clearly. Whereas it and its and he, him, and her. Whereas him and his are different. For the feminine, her can be either pronoun or possessive adjective. Okay, so there's one last slide I want to look at. Okay, so what if you want to say I teach her brother? Okay, well again we have to replace this possessive adjective her with a pronoun form. So you have to kind of rework it into I teach the brother of her. Okay. Now Latin has all the pronouns you want. Okay. You never have to worry about not having enough pronouns in Latin. They got you covered. Okay. So again, dokeo fratrum, I teach the brother of her, eius. Okay. So fratrum is masculine singular accusative. Okay. But that information is not important for what form of eius we choose. The only way that a pronoun in Latin can express possession is in the genitive. So, of her is going to be feminine singular genitive of is, ea, id. All right. Thanks. That's all the time we got for right now. Hope you have a good rest of your day.